Here in the upper Midwest, the northern forest lies at the heart of our sense of place. This is a working forest, vital to the economic health of a region and a nation. Significant for its history, recreation, and ecology.
The water that we drink, the air that we breathe, are very much dependent on natural systems.
But today, millions of acres of forest land are threatened.
The public needs to understand what's going on in the forest and the kind of impact that's going to have on what we pride as the quality of life. It's going to be a very different place.
Hello? Sure. Well, what kind of price range are you in?
Where this line is, I think we're on this ridge. Remember where all
Yep.
the cedars were?
It's beautiful land all through there.
Land or lakeshore has been a tremendous investment over the last few years, but it has also put a lot of pressure on paper companies and the forest products industry because their land has become so valuable it almost becomes a better economic situation to sell it than it does to try to harvest trees.
In northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, millions of acres are managed as working forests. But these forests are now threatened with development.
As they get pressed to sell the lands, they're ending up in the hands of new companies. They're planning to subdivide them into parcels for recreational development or second home development.
The segmenting of forest land into ever smaller pieces is called fragmentation.
You take a block of forest and you break it up. You put houses in the middle of it, or you run a road through it, so you generate two discrete blocks from one original block. We now are converting forests to asphalt, to houses, to commercial sites, and it's going to be a conversion that is essentially permanent.
And when you start breaking up these woodlands, then it does have an effect. Gradually, you're seeing less and less species.
Fragmentation impacts more than just wildlife.
As ownerships get smaller, people tend not to think about their land as a place to manage for the generation of saw logs or pulp.
And as working forest land gets carved up into ever smaller pieces, our access to the woods for recreation is diminished.
Most people would not even recognize that these industry lands are privately owned lands. And it's going to be a shock if they get sold off and they show up for the opening day of deer season and there's a no trespassing sign on this spot that they've been hunting for 25 years.
The very thing that draws people to the North Woods, the howl of the wolf or the cry of the loon, is probably going to be the first thing that's affected by development.
I like to think of our efforts to protect forests as a basic investment in infrastructure. Forests give us clean water. Forests give us the air we breathe. They're a basic economic force in our landscapes.
I think all of us would like to preserve those memories that we've got and make sure that kids and grandkids can go enjoy the same kind of thing. And we've got the opportunity to make sure that that happens.
This was a special production of the University of Minnesota's Bell Museum of Natural History.